Hello grade 7, miss you all, hope everything is okay. Today we will start the fourth quarter with the first video, and in this video we will explain section 1 from chapter 18, properties of matter. So let's start. Objectives, what we are going to learn in this section. Describe the two properties of all matter. Describe the difference between a pure substance and a mixture. We will know the difference between them. And we will define the physical properties and chemical properties for matter. And how matter is organized. And so let's start with what is matter. If you remember what we took in grade 6 last year about matter, we said that matter is anything around us that has mass and volume. And we said volume means the amount of space, how much space the object takes up. So matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. And everything you can see in the universe, and also you cannot see like air, is considered as matter. But you cannot say that light and sound are matter because they are forms of energy and they are not matter. What are the building blocks of all matter? Matter made from tiny particles called atoms. So what are atoms? Atoms are the building blocks of matter. All types of matter are built from tiny particles called atoms. An atom is the smallest unit of matter that has unique properties. If you break down a substance into smaller and smaller pieces, you will end up with very small particles called atoms. And as the example for matter will be pure substances. A pure substance is matter that consists of one type of atom or one type of molecules. The pure, anything we call it pure because it has only one kind of things inside it. It doesn't have a mixture or many things together. We have two types of pure substance, like elements and compounds. These two types of matter, they are pure substances. Let's start with elements. Elements, single type of atoms. Elements cannot be broken chemically or physically. We have so many elements. We have more than 100 elements such as gold, silver, copper, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, helium. We have so many types of elements. Elements, we have to know that element is a pure substance and it consists of only one kind of atoms. Elements cannot be broken down chemically or physically. An element is a substance composed of a single kind of atom. This is also another meaning for element. So what do you have to know about element? That is, a pure substance has only one kind of atoms. As we said, there are more than 100 different elements. The picture on the next slide shows one way of classifying elements. We classify elements into three groups: metals, non-metals, and metalloids. So let's see now together. Here are the three major categories of elements. We have, as we said, metals. Metals like what? Metals like gold, copper, silver, aluminum, lead, zinc, titanium. All of them are examples for metals. Metals are elements that are shiny. They all are shiny. They are good conductors. They conduct the heat. They conduct the electricity. They are malleable, or they can be hammered, or they can be bent easily. They are also ductile, or they can be drawn into thin wires. We use metals to make wires. So now let's move to the next category or the next group of elements, which is non-metals. Non-metals differ like neon. They all are examples of non-metals. Non-metals are elements that are dull. Dull, it means not shiny. They don't conduct electricity, or we can call them poor conductors for heat and electricity. They don't conduct heat or electricity. Most of them are solids or gases, except the bromine is the only liquid non-metal. Few familiar objects are made only of nonmetals. Let's move now to the metalloids, the last group in the elements. Metalloids are like boron, like silicon, like antimony. They all, we call them metalloids. Metalloids are between metals and non-metals. They have some properties of metals and some properties of non-metals. So if we will say that they are semiconductors, they conduct electricity and heat, but not like metals, and not very bad like non-metals. So they are in between. They have properties of both of them, metals and non-metals. Some metalloids are shiny, like here the boron is shiny, and some they are dull. Metalloids are some a little bit malleable and ductile. Some metalloids conduct heat and electricity as well. So if we will compare between metals and non-metals and metalloids, metals are the best conductors for heat and electricity. They are very malleable, they are shiny. Non-metals are totally the opposite, and metalloids, they are between metals and non-metals. Not very good conductors like metal and not very bad like non-metals. So let's move to the next slide. So now we have done with elements. As we said, they have one kind of atoms and the three groups of elements. Now we will speak about compounds. What are compounds? Compounds made from single molecule. A compound is a substance made up of atoms of two or more different elements joined by chemical bond, and we will see how. Compound has a fixed composition, meaning that all of its molecules are the same. Like when I say water, water is a compound. It's made of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. All the water all over the world have the same composition. The water in the Pacific Ocean, like in the Atlantic Ocean, like the water in the fridge that you have, all the water have the same composition, has 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So compounds all the time have fixed composition or the same ingredients. The picture on the next slide shows the formation of the compound of sodium chloride or the table salt. Let's see how. Here on the plate here we have a piece of sodium. Sodium is kind of metal, is soft, silvery, white metal that reacts violently with water. When you add sodium to the water, it reacts and gives fire, gives heat and sound and light. The chlorine is a poisonous greenish yellow gas. So the sodium reacts with chlorine to give the sodium chloride the table salt. If you notice here that both of them, we can say that they are both poisonous and dangerous, but when they mix together or combine together or bond together, they form new substance, which is sodium chloride, which is totally different. It dissolves easily in water and is safe to eat. So the compound has totally different new properties and made from elements together. So elements joined together by chemical bond to form compounds. And now we will move to the mixtures. Mixtures are not pure substance. They are not made only of one kind of substance. They can be made from many substances together, and they don't have a clear or fixed composition like compounds. Let's see. A mixture is a matter that contains 2 or more pure substances. When you mix 2 things together, or maybe more, then you have a mixture. We have many examples for mixtures, like the atmosphere. If you remember, we took it earlier. The atmosphere is made of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. They all together mix together to form a mixture. But in the atmosphere, the oxygen doesn't react with carbon dioxide and doesn't react with nitrogen. Every ingredient is separated. They don't have chemical bonds between them. They are not connected together. We have two types of mixture. Homogeneous mixture is uniform throughout, such as apple juice. The homogeneous mixture, when you mix two things and they completely dissolve or mix completely, like for example sugar in water, when you mix them together and dissolve sugar in the water, you cannot see the sugar anymore because the sugar distributed evenly inside the water. So this example of mixture, we call it homogeneous mixture. The heterogeneous mixture is not uniformly mixed, such as salad dressing. You mix, like for example, also mixing soil and water. When you mix soil and water, the soil stays down and dirt stays up, and they will not mix completely. So this kind of mixtures, we call it heterogeneous. So let's repeat again. What did we say? We say that matter is anything that has mass and volume. Matter made of atoms. When atoms are the same, they make elements. Different atoms combine together to make compounds. Elements and compounds are pure substances. When many substances mix together and they don't have chemical bond between them, we call this mixture. We have two types of mixtures, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. And the homogeneous, they completely mix together, and heterogeneous, they don't evenly mix, or they don't completely mix. So we have here example for mixtures such as pizza, apple juice, water and sugar. They all are examples for mixtures. We have the two types of mixture, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. We have three main types of mixtures. We have solutions, suspensions, and colloids. Solutions is a homogeneous mixture that appears to be a single substance. Solutions, when you mix two or more two substances together, they are evenly distributed. Another type of mixtures is a suspension. Suspension is a mixture where the particles are affected by gravity. In suspensions, when you mix two things together and the particles are large enough, and because of gravity they settle down or they fall down. Like for example, when you mix sand with water, sand particles are large enough, and that's why they fall down or they settle out from the water and they stay on the bottom of the cup or the plate. So the particles in a suspension may be distributed in a gas or a liquid. Also suspension like sand in the air. When there is a windy day, the sand flies in the air, suspended in the air. Also it can be suspended in the liquid. Colloids are example of mixture that has particles are larger than the solutions but smaller than the suspension. Particles are medium size. They don't settle down, they don't settle out, and also they don't disappear like solutions. They just stay suspended in the middle. Like when you mix some flour in water, the flour stays suspended in the water. And also like milk. The milk also stays suspended in the water. So particles are not very small to disappear, and they are not very large to settle out. So the three examples for mixtures are solutions, suspensions, and colloids. The globe, the particles would sink down to the rest, at the rest. Here we have two examples for colloids, the whipping cream and the gelatin. Here jelly is also example for colloid. Another example for colloids are clouds. Clouds also are colloids. The particles of the water are too small. They don't fall down as rain. They stay suspended in the air. So let's revise what we have taken in this lesson. We said matter is anything that has mass and volume. We have two types of matter, pure substance and mixtures. Pure substance, like elements, they cannot be broken down into two or more substances. Like elements have one kind of atoms. Pure substance also can be like compounds, can be broken down into two or more substances. Chemically, you can break down the water into hydrogen alone and oxygen alone. Compound molecule with at least two elements. It has two or more elements, different atoms. Matter can be mixture, like the seawater. When they mix completely, we call them homogeneous mixture, like salt water. And heterogeneous, when they don't mix completely or not uniformly mixed, we call it heterogeneous mixture, like salad dressing. This was everything for today. Hope you understood the lesson, and see you in the next video. And for the next video, I want you to prepare the book because we will start solving in the book. So see you. Bye bye.